The Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns take on Appalachian State, and that's going to be a 6:30 p.m. Eastern start time. Appalachian State is -3 with the total at 135.5. I'm still feeling great on a Thursday morning because we are still coming fresh off a 4-1 day in my 5 premium sports picks on BrockPage.com yesterday. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. We're also 5-2 in our last $7.99 daily best plays on that very same website. And if you want to access today's $1.99 daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. And if you're still on the fence a little bit about signing up for a membership on my safe and secure website, just keep in mind we currently have over 995 members who are signed up and active on that site right now. But despite a rough stretch of games here recently, Appalachian State still finds themselves 5-1 straight up on their home court. As a matter of fact, the Mountaineers are allowing only 53 points a game in front of their home fans. And they're also limiting their opponents to just 23% shooting from three land in that very same category. These guys have been absolutely dominant defensively at home. Now, scoring-wise, when it comes to, making baskets, getting on the scoreboard, Adrian Delph is scoring just about 15 points per contest, along with 4 rebounds. Meanwhile, Justin Forrest is averaging nearly double-digit points per contest himself, along with 2 rebounds and a couple assists. They're taking on a Louisiana club who lost their last 2 straight, and they also dropped 5 out of their last 7. The Ragin' Cajuns are also just 1-4 straight up in their road games this year, and they're shooting just 34% from the field when traveling. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, 4 out of Louisiana's last 5 road games fell under the posted number. Meanwhile, Appalachian State went 6-2 to the under in their last 8 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Appalachian State -3, under 135.5. Next ball game I have for you, it is going to be Michigan versus UCF, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. The Michigan Wolverines are -3, with the total at 139. The Wolverines successfully covered the point spread in 3 out of their last 4 ball games. They also went 3-1 straight up during that stretch as well, with victories over the likes of Nebraska and San Diego State. The Wolverines have been really tough defensively this season, as they're holding their opponents to just 39% shooting from the field. Now, Michigan also ranks in the top 10 in the country in defensive three-point percentage. When it comes to the scoring, Hunter Dickinson is averaging over 15.5 points a game, along with 9 rebounds and a couple assists. Meanwhile, Eli Brooks is scoring over a dozen a game himself, along with 3 boards and a couple assists as well. The Wolverines are scoring 76 points a game on the road, and they're also making nearly 40% of their three-pointers in that same category. They're taking on a UCF program who failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6 themselves, with failures to cover coming against the likes of North Alabama and NCAAM during that stretch. Now, the Knights are also just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 home games, and they find themselves amongst the worst in their conference in offensive rebounding at home. Certainly several problem areas for UCF backers in this one. Now, total-wise, 3 out of UCF's last 5 ball games got over the posted number. Meanwhile, Michigan saw games with Minnesota, Nebraska, and San Diego State here recently get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward Michigan -3 over 139. Next ball game I have for you, it is going to be Old Dominion versus FIU. And that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Florida International is -1 with the total at 126.5. The Panthers are a perfect 5-0 straight up at home this year, and they're drilling nearly 40% of their three-pointers at the Ocean Bank Center. Tevin Brewer is drilling over 42% of his three-pointers. He's also scoring 16 points a game. Meanwhile, Denny Jones is scoring nearly a dozen points a night himself, along with 4 boards and 3 assists. The Panthers are scoring just about 80 points a night on their home court. Meanwhile, defensively, they're limiting their competition to just 26% shooting from beyond the arc at home as well. They're taking on an Old Dominion squad who lost their last 3 straight, and they also dropped 7 out of their last 10. And as a matter of fact, the Monarchs have gotten the W in only 2 out of 8 ball games away from their home court. Certainly something to think about. Not a very good trend there. And in addition to that, Old Dominion averaged only 62 points per contest in those games away from home as well. Now, even worse than that, ODU's currently shooting 26% from 3-land away from home as well. These guys are having all types of problems when they travel. Now, total-wise, 4 out of ODU's last 7 ball games fell under the posted number. Meanwhile, FIU's gone 60% to the under for the entire season themselves. I'm going to lean toward FIU -1, under 126.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Marshall versus Louisiana Tech, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Louisiana Tech's -7, totals 156. Now, LATECH scoring 86 points per contest on their home court, and they're making nearly 51% of their field goals in that same category. Kenny Lofton Jr. scoring over 18 points a game along with double-digit rebounds. Meanwhile, Amori Archibald's averaging over 13.5 points per contest himself, along with 3 boards and a couple assists. The Bulldogs have gotten the W in 8 out of their last 10 ball games. They're also limiting their competition to just 39% shooting from the field on their home court. They're taking on a Marshall program who's on a 3-game losing streak themselves, and they also lost 4 of 5 away from home. Now, the Herd successfully covered the number in just 3 out of their last 10 ball games, and they're actually giving up 83 points a game on the road. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this one, 3 out of Marshall's last 5 road games got over the posted total. Meanwhile, Louisiana Tech saw 7 out of their last 9 get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward LaTeX -7 over 156. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into our next contest. It is going to be Utah versus Oregon State. 9 o'clock Eastern start time in this conference square off here. Utah's -4.5, totals 140. And despite going to work here tonight without their leading scorer, we're still looking at a Utah team who's really been catapulted by their defensive play. Utes allow only 65 points per contest. They're holding their opponents to just 24% shooting from beyond the arc. As a matter of fact, Utah's in the top 5 in the country in guarding the 3-ball. And when it comes to the offensive production in this one here, both Gotch is averaging over a dozen points a game along with 3 rebounds and a couple assists. Meanwhile, David Jenkins Jr. is drilling 42% of his 3-pointers and scores over 11.5 points a game. Now, Utah's taking on an Oregon State team who lost 10 out of their last 12. And they're shooting only 30% from 3-land. Meanwhile, defensively on the other end of the court, the Beavs are allowing 74 points a game on their home court. And they also failed to cover in 8 out of their last 10 ball games at any location. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this one, Oregon State is 6-1 to the over in their last 7 at home. They also went 70% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Utah. So if you're into historical trends, certainly consider that one there. And speaking of the Utes on the other side of things, they saw 5 out of their last 7 get over the posted total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Utah -4.5 and the over 140. And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into our quick pick recap. Power to you by my website at brockpage.com. We are currently 5-2 in our last 7, $1.99 daily best plays. I like Appalachian State -3, under 135.5. Michigan -3 over 139. Florida International -1 under 126.5. Louisiana Tech -7 over 156. Utah -4.5 over 140. As far as all the other games go across the country, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Rutgers -25 under 123. Maryland Terrapins -11.5 over 134. I like East Tennessee State +7 over 135. Give me Fordham +3 over 135. I like Northern Kentucky -7.5 over 128 a hook. Give me Coastal Carolina -5 over 141.5. Wright State -8.5 over 142 and a hook. IPFW, that's Purdue Fort Wayne +11 over 141.5. Robert Morris +13 over 149. Richmond -12 over 144. Georgia Southern -4.5 over 138. Sam Houston State -9.5 over 135. UAB -12 under 136.5. Abilene Christian -1 under 135 and a hook. Lipscomb -8.5 under 133. Grand Canyon -22 under 124.5. Give me Oral. Wow. Sounds like there's a mouse around here. Sorry, we're changing locations here, and I hear something rummaging around. Anyway, give me Oral Roberts -14.5 over 144. South Alabama -2.5 under 135. North Dakota State +2.5 over 153. Murray State -19 under 149.5. Troy +9 under 130 and a hook. Austin P -5.5 over 140. Montana -10.5 under 123. Southern Utah -15 over 143.5. Tarleton State -3.5 under 133. Weber State +2 over 145. Cal State Fullerton +1 under 123. Eastern Washington +2 under 145.5. And with my next and final free pick for the video, go ahead and give me UC San Diego +3 under 137.5. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on BrockPage.com. Now, if you guys are considering getting a package here today on my website at BrockPage.com, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today, you're going to only get access to that content, to those picks, for just 2 days. So I strongly recommend you wait until January 1st. Don't buy anything from me today and tomorrow. Don't buy it. Don't buy a package. Wait for January 1st, and you're going to get max value for your money. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. So normally I'm telling you to get a package with me. Today I'm telling you, don't buy a package from me. And as far as tomorrow goes, don't buy a package then either. You want your max value. Wait till January 1st. All right, guys, most importantly, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at BrockPage.com.